23rd. That falls on a Friday.
Yes, and we will be there for almost 2 weeks. It's 15 representation, and we can't wait. We're super excited.
And you know what, guys? Well, they have to come in very early because it's a Friday. You know how bad the Manila traffic can be.
I have experienced Manila traffic. This is something.
So once again, everybody, that's on June 23rd, Friday, 8 p.m. Now, you know what? Thank you as well for your team because we have given away 2 tickets per guest that we have here. A round of applause for Cirque, everybody, for Toruk.
And we really hope that you can make it and experience this really live, hands-on, in front of your eyes.
And of course, have them as well, what do you call this? Invite their friends and families to watch Toruk. That's for 15 performances up until July 2nd.
Yes, exactly.
At the Mall of Asia Arena.
Exactly.
Now, JD, you know what? I think it's now time to know more about Toruk, the first flight. Let's sit down for a Q&A. And I think we have 2 more special guests.
Yes.
We have here with us.
A very special guest.
Very special.
So we have 2 other people from the cast and crew of Toruk, the first flight. And you know, I've been told that Filipinos, they have a worldwide reach. Well, we have 2 first generation Filipino-American, Filipino-Canadian. They're a part of our group and they're super excited to be here as well. So I present to you, there's Rob Lucky. We saw him in the movie. He's a puppeteer coming down right there.
For Rob, everybody.
Puppeteer that we saw in the
movie.
Amazing. 20 years in the entertainment industry, puppeteer, dancer, actor. He does everything. And a full Filipino as well.
Singer of karaoke.
And we also have Michael Ocampo, who's coming down. A big round of applause.
A round of applause for Michael, everybody.
And he is our head coach on this show. Has been with Cirque du Soleil for 24 years. And so he knows a lot about the company. He has been an acrobat as well and is now in the role of head coach. And as well a Filipino-Canadian this time.
Yes. Hello, everyone.
Wow, once again, a round of applause for them, everybody. We have 2 Filipinos with us and a very beautiful lady.
Thank you.
All right,
Canadian.
You know what? How was the experience, the whole experience with Toruk?
The experience, well, it started a long while ago. So it is a partnership with James Cameron from Avatar and his entertainment company, which is called Lightstorm Entertainment. And the discussion with Cirque du Soleil and Lightstorm took place like 5 years before we actually opened Toruk. So it was a long process, a lot of sharing of knowledge and ideas. And then we opened with Toruk, the first flight, December 2015 in Montreal. So we've toured North America for about 15 months, and
That's
we did
long.
60 cities,
Wow.
1.3 million spectators. So that was really a great moment. And now this is our 61st city, first Asian city, so first time we go actually outside of North America. We're super excited.
It's amazing. And I have one more question. Why Manila?
Well, I think it was time. It has been 5 years that Cirque has not come to Manila. And like we were mentioning before, it is a vibrant scene. So I think that, and on top of it, we've heard that Filipinos really love Avatar. I think we've seen this in this room.
Everyone did.
In 2009,
They
it was
said,
the top
yes.
box office. So I think there's also like a connection right there with Cirque du Soleil, with Avatar. So it's, I think, a great fit, and we're hoping that you're going to feel the same.
You know what? With all the jeers that I heard earlier, I'm sure they're all going to love it. But right now, everybody, we're opening the floor for questions from our dear media friends and the guests we have here. Any questions?
Don't be shy.
Don't worry, we'll not bite. You won't.
We've been told that the media, and we've experienced in the last few days, very warm welcome here in Manila. Audiences supposedly are the same. So we've been told that the Filipino audience is very warm and very loud at times. So hopefully...
Yes, they are. We are.
We can be like that today too.
You know what? Okay, there you go. Hi, ma'am.
I just wanted to know.
There's the microphone.
Sorry, here with Monday Vlogger for Mom's Word.
Hello.
I just wanted to know, every place and every venue will have its challenges. So I was just wondering, what are some of the challenges that you have to face setting up the whole show here, and what is your reaction about how everything is going on over there? Thank you.
Well, one of the challenges, I think, is that we've been on a little bit of a break because we have to now ship our whole show here. And as you saw, it's such a gigantic spectacle. And there's so much that needs to happen to be able to bring our show to you here in Manila. So that's one of the challenges. And another challenge is that because we've been on break, we, as the performers, have to maintain our shape. And it's been tough being in the Philippines, in Manila, and not eating all the food, at least for me. So I've been hitting the gym very hard to maintain that shape, to be able to fulfill what I need to do and show you and share with you our show, Toruk, the First Flight.
I think you're doing pretty good, though.
You look very buff. I love it.
I wear black, so it's slimming.
That's the tip.
Good to share.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Hello.
Hello, I'm Rani. I'm a blogger on princeamom.com. I just want to ask, who do you think should come to the show? What age or the type of people who will really enjoy the show?
If it's recommended for all
Yes,
audiences.
yes.
I would say everyone. It's a show, it's a family show, and there is something for everyone in the family. If you like more like, if you're a geek and you like more the technology side, there's something there. We've got many projections. We've got an app as well. If you like costumes, there's something there. If you like acrobatics, puppeteers, so it's really, there's something for everyone. It's really a one-of-a-kind show. As far as age, we have had very young kids, 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, sit through the whole show because it's so colorful and there's always something happening and it's so big. Basically, the rule of thumb that I say, if they can sit through a movie or something in front of television, they should be good to sit in front of the show. But it's a family show, for sure, from very young to not so young.
So it's an all-in-one show for everybody.
To enjoy with your friends and family.
Okay, that's right. Thank you.
Hi, this is Alan for the Philippine Rambler. It's nice to see that there are Pinoy who is part of this gigantic show, as we have seen her. That's Joe dropping. I'm very much excited to see the show when it opens next month. But I'd like to know, are you guys planning to explore the Philippines after the show?
Actually, some of our artists have already come prior to us arriving. Some of them have been here taking some vacation. Some more artists are arriving fairly soon because we're going to be here in about a month's time. Some of them plan on coming in between now and the time that we begin, and then again, some of them are planning on staying after. So yes, we'll have a couple of days off while we're here as well, so people are very much looking forward to getting out and exploring, not just Manila, but the rest of the Philippines as well.
It's so special because we have two hands-on people that have been here, so they can give us recommendations. And I've been hearing about food, Filipino food, for the past few days because they know it, which is great. So yes, definitely.
Hi, out the back here. It's Milan. I'm from Singapore. Can I ask a question? I saw in the video that the Toruk is set in 3,000 years before the movie. Can you tell us a little bit more about the story of Toruk and what story is portrayed on stage, please?
You talk together.
Yes, as you said, it's like a prequel to the movie. So James Cameron and his team, the world that he created of Pandora, we used that as inspiration to make this story. And so in the movie, you saw what would be the sixth Toruk Makto, which means the Navi that rides the giant Toruk. So this is the story of the first Toruk Makto, the first Navi, which is the inhabitants of the moon Pandora, the first one that rode the Toruk. So it's an adventure of these three youngsters, these three Navi, that go and basically try to save the world. So it's an epic narrative, and it's something new for Cirque to be able to make a narrative that's so clear for their shows, and it's absolutely like amazing combination of what Cirque does and the artistry that Cirque does, and the detail and the beauty of the world that James Cameron created.
And it's a standalone show, so if you have not seen Avatar, if you're the one person that did not see Avatar, that's okay. You'll understand the show. So it really is standing alone. We have things that are from the movie that you'll recognize. Some of the dire horses or the viper wolves that we saw, the wolf-like, dog-like creatures. But then we have also new creatures that we invented for this show. New clans, the Na'vi that Rod was talking about, those are the blue-skinned inhabitant of Pandora. In the movie Avatar, we saw one clan. In our show, we created 5. So we have 5 clans with all beautiful costumes. So you'll understand the show even if you have not seen Avatar. And if you have, then you'll be ready for Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5 that are coming out.
Hi there. Hi. My question is for Michael and Rob. Do you guys speak Tagalog?
Okay, na.
No, my question is for Michael. You are the head coach. I'm just wondering, what do you do? For the production.
Yeah. So my job is very much like the job of a gymnastics coach. I'm there during the creation period, I was there as the acrobatic coach. On a daily basis, I'm there for the trainings. So at the beginning of the week, when we come into a new city, we're going to have trainings on that first day. So I'm there for all of those trainings. If we need to integrate someone new as well on a daily basis, I'm just looking at the show and making sure that all of the acrobatics that we're doing in the show are up to par. And if we need to work on something, then I'm going to be there to help the artists along with that. Also, I work in conjunction with our performance medicine team, which is basically a team of athletic therapists and physiotherapists. And if we need to give artists a strength and conditioning program, I do that as well. I give classes of strength and conditioning, stretching, warming up, and this type of thing throughout the week as well.
Wow, thank you very much. Awesome. For Rob, you're a puppeteer. I'm just wondering how cool is that? I mean, what do you do exactly? You also do acrobats.
I still pinch myself sort of every day when I go into work. I'm going to say work with quotes on it, because it really is, for me, this culmination of a dream. And it's such a point of pride for me to represent where I come from, and not only my family, but also sort of Filipinos, because we're so entertainment-based. There's a natural streak, sort of, I think, in Filipino culture that embodies, singing and dancing and that sort of kind of expression. So to be able to represent that every day, and I'm absolutely thrilled and privileged and blessed to be able to try to bring that, and hopefully you'll be able to see that when you come
Thank
to
you
the show.
very much.
Hi, I'm Emerald from Mud in Manila. I had 2 questions. One, jumping off from what the gentleman from Singapore said earlier. I noticed from the videos that the music is in Na'vi. So did you have to learn the language to be able to come up with that soundtrack? And what language is the production going to be in?
So Paul Fromer, who invented the language, Na'vi language for the movie, he came in and worked with us during the creation process, and so we have the main characters that you see, everyone speaks Na'vi. So we all had to learn, we all sort of have our own dictionary of phrases that we have. And my favorite is Mawe Maupernin Mawe, which means calm, my baby, calm.
Yeah.
Oh, she speaks Na'vi. You should audition for the So yeah, we all had to learn little bits of Na'vi to be able to make it more authentic. And all of this was also approved by James Cameron and his team. Every design aspect, every aspect that you see on stage and that you hear on stage was all approved by James Cameron and his team at Lightstorm. So it was a true collaboration with these creative minds.
However, we have a storyteller in the show. As we were saying, it's a new thing for Cirque du Soleil, and the storyteller will speak English. So he tells the story as our performers, which have mics, which is also something new, speak Na'vi. So you'll understand the whole show. And we do have people, super fans, that come in the audience, and they actually understand the Na'vi side of it. So we have performers that really study and look at videos and perfection, and it's a whole experience.
That's incredible. Well, also what I do is I actually I belong to the aerial community in the Philippines, and I teach some of that over here. So I'm positively geeking out right now. Like, to see one of my favorite movies come out in Cirque du Soleil, it's just, I can't even imagine what a dream come true that must be for you. But just for the cast members then, could you briefly walk us through the process of what it takes to interpret? Because in the film we did already see kind of like the movements, but it was very brief. So how do you take that and then go back thousands of years from before the film got made and say, okay, this is probably how they would move? And how did you decide, like, we're going to go aerial on this, or we're going to stay on the floor for this?
Again, it was this collaboration of the expertise of Cirque du Soleil in terms of designing the acrobatics and the acrobatic apparatus. But also, we, or at least for the movement, along sort of with the language as well, they brought in an expert that worked on the original movie with James Cameron, Julian Areni, I think her name is. And she worked with us for weeks in Montreal. And so our day would start with these group exercises that sort of would jumpstart us into the world of Pandora, not only physically, but also sort of the emotional core of what James Cameron was getting at with the movie. So we all were able to be on the same page and approach our movement and our artistry from that point of view and from James Cameron's vision.
And talking about the aerial acts, we have quite a few aerial acts in Toruk. There's that nice fine line because the show didn't start from the acrobatics. Normally at Cirque du Soleil, a show will start from the acrobatics and then be created around that. And this show is created, of course, around the film. And so all of the acrobatics that we do in the show is there to support the story. So that's sort of that challenge of how do we put our Cirque du Soleil flair on this acrobatics without it taking away from the story.
Okay, great. Well, I can't wait to see how you guys pull that off. Thank you.
I geek out every day, actually, when I go on. One of the benefits is that there's such an open community to be part of this company, part of Cirque du Soleil, is that you can cross-train there, open training, so if I'm not necessarily, I have to approve from the coach to be able to work on aerial, even though I don't necessarily do it in the show. So everyone's constantly improving, constantly getting better, and driving each other to become better performers and better artists. So it's an exciting company to work for every day.
So actually, she stole my question, but I'll rephrase it a little, right? First of all, thank you for the costume. I love that it's glow blue. Thank you for that. That's spot on, right?
It's also IMAX blue.
Yeah, there you go.
Everything here is all the steps.
But the language, as she was saying, is so integral into this. And so I guess as a partner with you, we're going to use a lot of content to educate people prior to seeing it, not only for the Cirque experience, which, by the way, I'm very pleased to find out this is narrated, because as you know, most Cirque shows, you're going, what the hell's going on here, right? So when we found out there's actually a strong storyline and narration, we were really excited. So what I need from you, and maybe you can elaborate, you mentioned an app, maybe that's even in it. How can we get the language so we can have fun with the language in helping promote this to you, right? And maybe educate people on the Na'vi language, so maybe they don't listen to the interpreter. So do you think that's something we can do together on this?
Well, there are people that do learn the language. There is really a community that are Na'vi super fans. So on the internet, that's definitely something. As far as how you can be in the show and understand the show, the app that I mentioned, we actually came up with an official app developed for our show, Toruk, the First Flight app, so that everyone that will sit in the audience can download this app and you become part of the show during the show. So you'll have notifications and different things, and then you become, some of the lighting effects will come from your phone. So when you're sitting in the arena, the lighting effects goes through all of the bowl, every seat. So it becomes very immersive. And that's really what we wanted to do, is immersive multimedia experience for everyone who's sitting in the audience.
And we clearly plan to help you with that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, I'm Luigi from 2.0. I just want to ask how involved James Cameron is in the creation process. Like, is it officially canon and we'll see the new elements that you created in future sequels?
It is officially canon. Everything that we, like I said, that we designed and everything that you see on stage is approved. It has to go, anything that we change too, has to go through James Cameron and his team at Lightstorm. So what's been really cool is that he's inspired us to be able to do what we do at Cirque, but he's taken inspiration from our show, and who knows, you might see an animal in one of his movies. There's no guarantee, but never know.
He really created, like he spent years creating this universe of Pandora and all the creatures. So what they did is they actually gave us the Pandorapedia, like the big book of everything that they had created that we have not seen in the movies yet. And so we had access to that when we created the show. Like I said, we have some of the actual Avatar that we've seen in the show. We've got new creations as well. And when he's come to see the show, James Cameron has come to see the show many times. As Rob was saying, was very involved. And he did mention that he was very amazed, for example, by the costumes and headpieces of the new clans that we saw. So that's something that, hey, we don't know. We could maybe see bits and pieces in the next sequels. We'll see.
I mean, Pete, which was inspiring for us to see what he's coming up with. It's all top secret, so I can't talk about it.
And also those new clans that we've been talking about, it's not something that Cirque du Soleil invented. If you're paying very close attention to the film, you'll see that he alludes to these other clans in the first film, but in the Pandorapedia, they're in there. So all of these clans and all of these aspects of our storyline really comes from James Cameron.
Thank you.
All right. One more we have here.
Hi, my name is Alvin for thecityroamer.com. A question for the performers. Having performed Toruk all over North America, how do you compare the stage of our arena and any challenges, and how are you able to overcome the challenges?
I think the challenges of this show are sort of also its benefits. The scale of the show is one of the largest shows I've ever worked on in terms of actual just square footage of covering the space. So when you see, the puppets and you see those wolves, inside the wolves running, you literally run from the back of the arena to the front of the arena to the back of the arena to the front of the arena to the back of the arena. So, like I was saying earlier, one has to stay in shape to be able to do that. However, as I said, it's also a benefit because of what Jenny said. The show is so immersive, and the video projections are so detailed, and the effects of the app that we have, they really put us into that world. It's very easy for us to imagine that we're on the moon Pandora. And with all the effects with the projections and the fog and the characters and the lights, the scale of it really feels like you've been transported light years away to the moon Pandora. So it actually also makes our job a little easier, if not incredibly exhausting.
And we do travel with everything. We have 27 semi-trucks that are on the boats at the moment coming to Manila. Because we try, even though we change city usually every week, we try to recreate the same space everywhere. So we travel with our floor, we travel with our props, everything. The gigantic, it's about 20,000 square feet. The projection that Rob was talking about, it's bigger than 5 IMAX screens. It is huge. So we try to recreate it in each arena to keep a stability. But indeed, we were talking about this yesterday. Adaptability is definitely something that we need, especially as performers, to have to be on tour with this show.
Talking about that challenge of one venue to the next, it's always different. Every venue is going to be slightly different. And Jenny is mentioning, we try to give the artists that stability of setting up the backstage area as much as we can similarly. It's never going to be exactly the same, but we try to get out those warm-up mats, the warm-up aerial equipment, and all of these things that the artists would need to get ready. And little quick change areas. Puppeteers go through a lot of quick changes in the show. So those areas are really important, so we try to keep them as much as possible similar from one venue to the next.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to experience everything.
Thank you. We have one more.
It's very interesting. So I just, I'm gonna ask a question and go on a child's point of view. I was just curious, just how much does it take, like, in preparation for the show? Like, how much time do you have to come here early? And maybe also some safety questions. Just how safe, is everybody there flying up in the air, just to make sure there won't be any accidents? And my last question, just so that it won't stop. Sorry, I forgot. You can answer first.
We will be here after. If you want to have questions, we'll stay after, so that's okay if you think of it after.
As in regards to the preparation, when we're on the road in sort of a full tour mode, we basically have the artists have sort of one day, and we do these things called validations, which we'll talk about in terms of what that is in terms of safety. As we're coming back to tour, since we've had a break, we basically have about 3 days of rehearsal before to be able to get back into it and to be able to do those safety checks before we premiere on the 23rd of June. So we have a little bit of time to warm up back into what we do every day. But when we're on the road, it's pretty quick. We have to maintain, as I said, our shape and sort of our intent to be able to share with our audiences every night.
And on the technical side, just if I may, we've become quite good at being very fast on setting up. So the 27 semi-trucks that I was talking about, the whole stage and how humongous it is, we actually build it in 1 day. So we come into the arena and about 12 hours after, everything is set up. The next day, which is the day of the premiere on normal schedule, would be where the artists do validation, our lighting guys will do the focus, the projections will be calibrated, everything technical will be done for the premiere that night. So it goes pretty quickly.
And to answer your question about the safety, during that validation and during the setup even, so on that first day when all of the technicians and riggers and all of that team is in setting everything up, at the end of the day, part of that is going to be testing the equipment before anyone even gets onto it. Then once it's been tested without people on it, then we go through and we revalidate all of the cues, all of the automation with the artists on that first day of training before the show. So we test all of that. During the creation period would have been when we were brainstorming and researching